Look, I wore this in honor of you.
Cat Sabbath, thank you. Cat Sabbath. How many, do you have cats? You got one?
Yeah, I have the one.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Did you have more?
I would like to give him a little friend.
How long have you had this one?
This one, Stardust, is about 4 years old.
So, but she's been alone the whole time. Do you find? See, this guy used to have the old ones, so I feel like he's longing.
Oh yeah.
And it makes me sad. Like I'm like, does he need somebody?
That's how I feel. I ask him all the time. I'm like, do you need a little friend? Should I get you another kitten?
Yeah. And do you feel like you get responses? What are you feeling like she's saying?
Well, it's a he.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stardust is a he? I'm sorry, I should have asked first. How does he identify? Is it a they?
It's a he, and he believes he's a lion. So he's not really a cat.
Okay.
But I'm not really sure if he would like another one. Well, that's the risk you take, right? If you get another one, you don't know if they get along.
Well, I know my guy. I know how he behaves. He's a bully, and he's a fucker, and he used to beat up on the old man.
Okay.
No respect for age, this cat. And it was like it was problematic because when Monkey got old and sick, this was like jumping on him. I was like, dude. So he was actually, I neglected him. So this is the first time because ever since I got him, I had the old cats, and he was always sort of the third banana. So now he's got all my attention, and he's turning into this other kind of cat. It's kind of wild.
Like a happier cat?
He's just becoming more friendly, a little more open, a little more connected. Because when I got one cat, if I'm focused on a cat, I'm checking in all the time. You know, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean...
Right, you walk in, you're like, what's up? Hi.
Yeah, where are you?
Yeah. But when you have a couple or you're focused on the old guy, my old guy, yeah, Buster was always like, it was just sort of like, leave him alone. Like, stop it. So that was the relationship. But now it's sort of like, hey, buddy. All the time, and I don't think he knows what to do with it.
Where did you get him?
Showed up. He was eating on the porch of my old house, wild and fucked up and crazy.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't quite. I don't think he was feral. I think someone had gotten him, had him for a little while, and then he got out, and he was in the wild. But he's only a couple months old. But he was fast and crazy, and living in the wild.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Like this little fucking. He's a tough little fucker.
Aw, I always tell Stardust, I remind him of the story that,
The origin story?
The origin story, exactly. I tell it to him like a bedtime story. I'm like, you were rescued from the Downey shelter. And
Downey? What were you doing there?
Well, several friends knew I wanted a cat. Maria Bamford took me to the Pasadena shelter to get one, and they didn't have any kittens available that day, weirdly. So my other friend Beth took me to the Downey shelter, and that's where I found this little guy. And he was in a cage with a bunch of rapscallions who were like going nuts on the cage, and he was the little demure one.
Oh, and you got him.
Yeah.
That's nice. And it worked out?
Yeah. He's part-time rapscallion.
Oh, good.
He concealed it that day.
Yeah.
But generally, he's very demure and sweet.
Putting on a show. Wanting to get out. Get me out of here, lady. Yeah. I got your number.
Yeah. Exactly.
We had an old cat back when Mishna and I moved here. We had that Butch cat, and then that died. But we had gotten that cat, another cat, Boomer. And I picked the craziest cat in the place because we went to some shelter. It wasn't like a city shelter, but it was one where it just seemed like most of the cats were cats that people got tired of. Like all the cats looked like they were over 10 and clearly looked like other people's cats. But there was one that was just out of his mind. And I'm like, that one. And I didn't realize it until I trapped these other guys that fucking guy was completely feral. Completely feral.
Oh, wow. So, like, what was the training process, like bringing him into...
You can't break him down. These other ones that I had aren't. Maybe in a decade, you can get them to sit on your lap or something. But you can't pick them up. They're tweaked all the time. But, you get used to them. I've had 3 feral cats, like real feral cats now in my life. For me, they're good because you got to fight for it. There's a distance there. There's aggressive boundaries,
Yeah.
Like when I get cats that are just sort of like loving, fat little cats, I'm like, got a little self-respect. Jesus, look at you. Oh, my God. Come pull it together. But, like, I was thinking about our past, how long I've fucking known you.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It really is.
Right?
Yeah.
I always want, like, whenever I see you, I'm like, what has she been doing? My God. Melinda, where are you? Where have you been? What have you been doing?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's the feeling I get. Now you've got this special coming out.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Inappropriate.
Where'd you do it?
I did it down the street in Hollywood. Well, down the street from me, not you.
What do you mean? What place?
It's in Theater Row. It's called Oh My Ribs
On
Theater.
Santa Monica?
Yeah.
That weird little Theater Row.
Yeah.
Oh, what is going on down there?
I think there's like a lot of plays happening there, a lot of...
But it's always like, like what is it's like it's been there forever.
Yeah.
I've done stand-up shows there, at one point or another, but I'm just like, there's not much theater in L.A., and I just always wonder how those places work. Do people just rent them out? Did you just rent it out?
Yeah.
Did you do a run there before?
I thought we considered it, but I just did two shows in one night and taped it.
So you shot it?
Yeah.
With 3 cameras?
I think there were 3.
You pulled the crew together?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you use both shows or just the one?
The second one was pretty unusable, so it's primarily the first one.
Isn't that always what happens?
Yeah.
Like that happens. Like you always shoot the 2, and rarely, in my experience, I haven't used a lot of the other one.
Yeah. No, we just mostly went with the first one, and Comedy Dynamics is putting it out, and it's coming out October.
So you just did a deal with them after the fact?
Well, I made a list of places that do specials, and I thought I would just go down and call the people on the list, and they were the first name, and they just took it, so I didn't go to any other names.
Good for you. Be a fighter. Really, go out and get what you want. Don't let anyone walk all over you, Melinda. Wait, the first people want it? Let's take it, right? We take it, right?
Well, Maria, because I'm really good friends with Maria Bamford, and she had just done her special with them, and she was like, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So it was like a glowing endorsement.
So she was championing you a bit? Did she bring you into them?
No, I just wrote them myself.
You wrote them?
Yeah.
No management?
No.
So what was the deal? A handshake? Okay. You're like, will you guys distribute this? Sure. Do I get any money? We'll see. Oh, sounds perfect. Take it.
No, I had a lawyer, and
good.
I did a deal. And,
good.
Good. There was a negotiation.
Oh, good. So it's real show business.
Yeah. I didn't just...
You didn't send them a handwritten letter.
I didn't just send them the beta tape and say,
the beta tape.
Well, wish for the best.
Good. Well, that's good. So now, but it's your first special.
Yeah.
But you've done CDs, or I feel like you have.
I did a few CDs back in the day.
Few CDs back in the day.
Yeah.
Selling them at the club. Right?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to happen years before, supposed to, air quotes. It was purchased by
the
Chill.
Special.
Yeah. Do you remember that company, Chill?
No.
Okay, so they made Maria's other special.
The one she did in front of her parents?
The one with the parents, which I love. And then they did like Ari Shaffir's and Greg Proops and stuff. And we had a deal with them. I was at Brillstein at the time. And then they folded. The whole company folded.
Chill was a production company.
Yeah. And then I was with Anonymous Content, and they were also making...
after Brillstein. After
Brillstein, I was with Anonymous, was making then a special with them. That didn't go through. And so now I just did it on my own.
You're a persevering woman.
Well, and I also feel like if it had happened at those times, it wouldn't have been the same special. It's a much better special now.
How so?
Well, at those times, it probably would have been a series of funny dating stories gone wrong, which are always entertaining. But now there's a more thorough narrative arc, and I've learned more as a person, and there's this one's about healing trauma, so that we don't continue to recreate it. And so,
oh, really? So it's like an EMDR special?
It's a very.
Do you have to watch it? You have to move your head? Do you have to move your eyes when you watch it back and forth?
Someone should do that. That would be revolutionary. It actually is. It's about when I went to EMDR and healed my trauma. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, good.
And so it's. I feel like it's got a much stronger message now because I have more healing as a person.
Well, where'd you come from? Like where did you because when I got back here in 2002, and I was desperately trying to plant myself here. I wasn't really known, but you had a room early on, right?
Yeah,
like way early on. It was like a box, right? Well, was it in a mall?
It was a box. Exactly. It was a box in a mall. Let's see. I had several.
But wait, where'd you come from?
Okay, so I was born in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Kansas? You're like a Kansas person?
Yeah.
Where's Hutchinson?
Hutchinson.
Yeah.
Hutchinson or Hutch.
Hutch. Oh,
as the locals might refer to it.
When they say, how many high schools are in Hutchinson?
I don't actually know because we only lived there like 2 months.
So you got out.
Don't have a lot of info about it, but it's a small town in Kansas.
Right. So that's where you were born. Mm-hmm. And then where did you grow up?
Well, so we moved 27 times.
What the fuck? Military or just running away?
My dad...
Was he a criminal?
I would say both. I would say both. My dad was military, he was Navy, and he was bipolar.
Ooh, exciting.
And he loved to move on a bipolar high.
My dad did that.
What?
Sure. Yeah.
Really? How many times?
When he destroyed his life and hit the road? I don't know. Let's see. I'm trying to think. So, started in Albuquerque. He was in Victoria, Texas, Warsaw, New York, Muscatine, Iowa. I don't remember. There was at least 4 or 5 times where, and I used to track it because, him and my mom broke up, so he hit the road. He was a doctor, but he got kind of chased out of Albuquerque.
Chased out?
I never got the full clear story, but I knew that what he would do is he would sign up. He would get a job, basically, as an orthopedic surgeon in existing practices and do a year deal with them in these different places. So he wouldn't have to pay, he'd have an office. He wouldn't, he would just enter an existing practice in these other towns. And then he'd stay there for a year. But it always sort of it was the arc of his cycle. By the time he left, I got the feeling that the town wanted him to leave. Do you know what I mean? It was right around the time where the mania would kick in. He'd be writing letters to the newspaper and, So I guess I'm just saying I'm familiar with the manic compulsion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But your dad would say, I want a new life.
I don't even think it was that conscious. But I do think that's what it was. That he would say, we've got to go. Yeah. And sometimes it would be that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He'd be we're leaving in the middle of the night.
How many kids were there?
3.
That's crazy.
Was
he in trouble ever?
He was never in trouble that I know of.
So he wasn't literally we got to get out before they get me.
No, it was just more he would have a reason always job transfer, or I'm leaving this job, or there's a better job here, or, something like that. But he loved to move. I've never seen him happier than when we were
in the car,
moving.
In motion?
Yeah.
That freed feeling.
Yeah.
Starting over.
Well, you know how they call that a geograph.
Geographic?
Right? A geographic.
Yeah.
And so if and people change their hair all the time, it's a hair geographic.
Oh, that's interesting. I never heard that.
And you want to change...
I've done some hair and clothing geographics in my time.
Sure, me too.
Oh my God. But have you? You look exactly the same. for 15
Why are you yelling at me?
For 15 years. I could see Melinda Hill from a half a mile away and know it was you.
Thank you.
It's a compliment.
I did do brown hair once and red hair.
Big geographic